Now I've got a little fridge on my desk.
Going up catching some mice running out of here. Well, I was
And so the civil rights movement, that's what it was all about, to set this country right. And we'd been wrong all of that time. Exclusion is not the way then, nor is it now.
When all of the disturbances were taking place in the 60s with marches at night and so forth, riots and destruction of property, fires and so forth, 14th Street in Washington, D.C., I remember so well. Just about closed up all the business in Northwest Washington on 14th Street. But we had none of that here. There were some things he did that nobody else could do but him, because he would let everything else go.
There is hardly any white person who has not at some time been benefited by the kindness, or the work, or the efforts of blacks. And by the same token, blacks have not in the South accomplished anything without the help of some whites. We ought to recognize that we stand here as results of our composite contribution.
A large, if not prosperous, Irish community awaited Father Burke here, themselves children of refugees who had fled the potato famine of the mid-1800s.
14,000 in the city of Savannah. And over 3,000 of those were Irish, not just of Irish descent, born in Ireland. There was a working agreement between various groups in Savannah. Certain jobs were sacred to the crackers. Crackers meant native Georgian. It could even mean, in a general sense, Protestant Georgian. To the Jews, they had their own group. They had their jobs too. And then the Irish. The Irish meant Catholic. In those days, you could come from Naples or Berlin or London town, but if you lived in Savannah and you were a Catholic, you were called an Irishman.
When somebody breaks your heart, I got to tell you about this. A lady sent me this title. She worked in a cosmetic counter in Youngstown, Ohio. And I finally wrote the song, and I told her we had a record by Tony Bennett. Well, she was thrilled. Well, she's the cutest thing. She writes me letters all the time. But she says, "You've changed my life, Mr. Mercer. You just don't know." I said, she began with saying, "People are coming into the store asking for my autograph." And she says, "Next week I have to go on the radio in Cleveland." And 2 weeks later, she says, "I'm going to Cincinnati. I'm going to be on I'm getting to be so famous." Finally, she came to New York, and she was on to Tell the Truth or something. Now she goes to Europe, and she said, "Mr. Mercer, I got to work every day next week getting in." She said, "I'm tired. I'm going to get out of show business." And that's when you'll discover that revenge is sweet. You sit there applauding from a front row seat when somebody breaks your heart like you broke mine.
Hey, Tony, I'm Paul. I just been hired.
He's the man in the corner office.
Paul.
Nice to meet you,
Hi,
Paul.
nice to meet you.
And the CEO knows everything there is to know about St. Joseph's Candler Health System.
I'm a numbers guy.
Except every little thing his 3,600 employees do every day to make the two hospitals work.
I'm in training.
But he's about to find out.
I'm your new trainee.
Beginning in the kitchen.
It's cold in here.
That prepares and delivers more than 5,000 meals a day.
That's amazing. So everything on the tray goes in a certain place. I can see how much teamwork is involved. It's all teamwork. So that process to get the trays together took 30 minutes. Now we're ready to go on the floor. So I have to do all the hard work.
The hardest work is still ahead,
Food service.
getting meals to the whole floor in 20 minutes.
If I wanted an extra pork chop, do you think I could convince you? I thought if I got to know you, maybe I'd get 2 pork chops instead of 1. Mr. Hill, how are you?
And Hinchy's natural friendliness is no friend to speedy delivery.
That's my secret recipe. It's my grandmother's recipe. Yes, ma'am, I'm lying. Okay. Hey, how are you? We'll take good care of you. Don't worry about a thing.
So he missed his deadline by a little.
I know you.
All right, a lot.
You did great. You did good. You did good.
That's so he'll be back here with you Monday morning.
I'm not going to be here Monday.
Hinchy's off to a new job anyway,
Hey, Roberta.
in environmental services, which processes more than 3 million pounds of laundry each year.
Now, how many sheets can you do in an hour?
I can do about 5.
500 sheets an hour? Wow.
Yes.
Now, I don't know what we're going to do with this one right here.
Here we go.
Okay, we ready, Mom?
One job that can't be beat at a hospital is sending a new family home.
Congratulations. Hang on, guys. We'll be there before you know it.
And Hinchy's special attention could become helpful in growing his staff when his patient turns out to be a neonatal nurse at Memorial Hospital.
Because this is part of our nursing recruitment, that she's going to remember this experience and she's going to call me.
At the end of this workday, Hinchy is still smiling, and he is impressed by everything and everyone he has
You're
seen.
very blessed. There's no small job and there's no unimportant job. It's the city that all works together so the patient has a good experience.
Somebody was telling my daughter Maggie, the little girl on the left, about a man taller than Morgan's dad, the little girl on the right. No, Maggie said, Mr. Henry is the tallest man in the world. And so he was, mostly because he could so often be seen stooping down and offering a hand to those much smaller in spirit and stature.
We got these goldfish, Shiny and Whitey, that she is named, and so we, I've got to, participate in this process. Went out and got these goldfish, and just watch her nurture them. And
I think Mr. Henry would want you to remember him mostly as a good dad, but he was other things too. As assistant city manager for the city of Savannah, he studied ways and implemented plans to build better communities. In recent years, his knowledge took him across America and to foreign lands where he consulted other cities in ways to build better communities.
here's your letter.
Remember that about him. But first, remember him as husband and father, a dad of great integrity.
And I think that she will be able to say, my dad really came to school, he did this for me today. She even said to me, she said, can you come to camp this Friday? And I'm like, well, let me see.
Mr. Henry made it to camp that week because that's the kind of man, the kind of dad he was.